Welcome back to another episode, another video. But today, we got some questionable shit going on. Do you hear me? All right, now listen. I know a lot of you are not watching the Drive to Survive series. I can't blame you. Some of you aren't even as much as watching Formula One at all. I can't blame you. But it's my due diligence and my job and a task that I've chosen to take. Well, I'm going to inform you up on certain things that are taking place both in the series and in Formula One as best I can, including my perspective, all right? At times, maybe I can seem a little bit biased. I try to be as objective as I possibly can, especially when it comes to like information, data, and just like race analysis in my own right. But this situation right here, I'm gonna be a little bit different, okay? What the hell is Christian Horny talking about? What the hell is he talking about? I got some problems with you, Christian. I got some questions about you, Christian. I got some questions about your wife, Christian. I got some questions about your life, Christian. I got some questions about why your name is Christian. I got some questions of why your last name is so close to Horny and Horner. I'm just saying. This situation that took place in Drive to Survive, episode 1, might tell you a lot about Christian. It might. And I'm going to give a couple of different perspectives, but first, I'm going to let you listen and watch this clip, and then we're going to reconvene post the clip. Here we go. Let's get this thing on. I'm trying to tell you.
Horses do want to be told what to do. They want you to be in charge.
They can feel it.
They can feel it.
A bit like racing drivers. If you're nervous, they're nervous.
Yep.
If you're in control, they're in control.
I think Archie is kind of a Bottas character, if I would say.
I think I'm not riding Bottas.
Now listen, I got a few things to say here. First of all, Christian, what have you done in your life to make your wife so comfortable with possibly saying that you're riding a man? I mean, I know you own a horse, right? And all the time you don't get to choose the horse, but I'm sure you got to choose your horse. I'm pretty sure you got to choose the horse you're riding on. You know, with that being said, I'm not questioning nobody's, choices in life. But your wife seemed mighty comfortable with saying you was up there riding bow ties. I don't know why she would, use that analogy, you riding another grown man, Christian. I don't know what kind of life y'all got in the bedroom, but that's your business. Unless you put it out, then I'll comment on it. But the other thing is this. I realized when she said that, you said that you weren't riding bow ties. You wasn't riding boaters. You said what you didn't say, which is saying a lot. Basically, you riding Lewis Hamilton. See, now, if you had just came right out and said that, I wouldn't even really have an issue because I wouldn't have the issue to this magnitude, I say that. Because sometimes you can have friends or people that say things where they really don't mean any ill intent. Sometimes they're just ignorant to their surroundings. Sometimes they've been sheltered in life to where they don't even know certain dynamics. So they just say things equally and you realize like, yo, wait, you can't say that. Like you can't say that. And they're like, oh my goodness, what did I say? Did I say something wrong? Well, hell yeah, you said something wrong. Do you know what's going on out here in life? Do you know that? Do you know what's happening? Do you know what's happened for the last some odd hundreds of years? You can't say shit like that. Oh, I didn't know, my bad. And you can take their apology because you apologize for something that you did not intend to do, but you did it. So you apologize for it. Things that you intended to do and then you got caught for, really, what are you apologizing for? You meant to do it and you did it and you got caught. There's no need to apologize, but you can understand and tell people that, hey, I did something, it was wrong, I made a mistake. But to try to say you're sorry, you're not sorry. You had plenty of time to think about that, which leads me to this. Christian, you didn't say Hamilton's name because you damn right knew what you were thinking and what the rest of the world would know. You knew better than to say Lewis Hamilton's name. You had no problem saying Bottas' name. And that's where my issue is. So that shows a clear, evident, distinct indictment on your character, on your personality, and on your mind frame. My next thing is this. You and your wife's whole conversation about horses like to be told what to do. Well, that could be an interesting dynamic because I've ridden horses. My family's broken horses. And if you think about the dynamic of the whole process, right? Horses are not naturally domesticated. They're not. They live in the wild. They roam in the wild. That's why usually people go out to acquire them. And these things that I'm lining out, very similar line up with other things that have happened in history. They go out to a land, capture these horses, bring them into their property, put them in pens, and then take days to try to break them in order to make them what they would call civilized. That resembles something. It's funny that you and your wife have this type of conversation. So with that being said, I go to this as well. If you've ever ridden a horse, the horse is really, really smart. There's times you don't even need to do nothing. The horse is pretty much on remote control. The horse knows I know what this idiot on my back really wants. Like, I'm just going to go down this path. Every now and then the horse is like, yo, I want to get this leaf. I might get it, and you try to bring it back in. But if you've ever ridden a horse and you go to try to control it in some ways, it's really not like you're controlling the horse, more so as going along for the ride. Now, there are people out there that race horses and compete with horse dancing and all types of situations like that. But it is a very fine line in you saying that you're in control versus being along for the ride. They don't naturally want to be born and be controlled. Now, what happens is their ancestors before them have been enslaved, captured in pens or, at stables. And then born into that, the younger horses that come along are already in that environment, so they take on certain habits. But you know what else? Christian. You really that little clip really showed me a lot about you. So either you fantasize romantically about Lewis Hamilton, or mentally you have this concept in your mind, Lewis Hamilton being a black man, that it is okay for you to joke in private with your wife that you ride him as an enslaved horse. You think that's okay. That's really what that told me. I'm just saying, I would love to hear comments. I would love to read comments and see what you all think, but just that little glimpse in that conversation can tell you a lot about a person. Now, this is just my opinion and my perspective, but if Christian had said Hamilton's name, I would have been like, oh, what the hell he talking about? He must not know. He doesn't know better. But I would at least feel like he's coming from a place where he don't know. He's just saying something. He need to be corrected. But the fact you said Boda's name, but you didn't say Hamilton, told me right there and then you knew better. So in private, I know you do worse. So I don't know why you want to be riding a grown man in either way search of fashion, but that's your choice. But me, preferably, I like to be next to something soft. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, this is just a little clip. We questioning Christian. And this is some of the things that's going on in Drive to Survive. A lot of people want to put the notion out here that Drive to Survive is like over exaggerating the drama that happened last season. No, if anything, they're really downplaying it or hiding a lot of stuff that happened last season because they don't want to I don't think they really want to spike up a bunch of things that really went wrong. But we're going into Jeddah. New week, Ferrari's on top at the list. As you see right here, we got the power rankings. Big shout out to Ferrari. Now, I'm not sure if, we're going to have another episode on what I'm not sure on, but big shout out to Ferrari. There's a lot of dumb comments being made. There's a difference between dumb comments and comments with different perspectives. I almost got into it with somebody on Twitter today because they try to say my knowledge. I didn't have knowledge. Basically, they wanted to say a bunch of dumb stuff. All right. And it doesn't matter if they're a Max fan or Lewis fan. I guess you can pretty much assume what's going on. If you've been on Twitter and all this other stuff lately, you can know what fans have been just delusionally crazy with stuff. Although it can exist on both sides. But I tried to say so. I just couldn't. I just took the high road like, hey, man, what you said really reveals a lot about yourself. Like for you to assume something about somebody's knowledge because you just want your perspective to be the gospel and it's not. So with that being said, we're about to have more of this. This is going on, but there's a lot of other more important things going on, like porpoising and these teams getting a handle on this car. And is Mercedes going to get theirs dialed in? Are they going to be able to extract this potential? Is Haas going to remain a midfield contender? Is Ferrari going to stay on top? Is McLaren and Aston ever going to come up from the back of the train? Like, what is going to happen? I also will decide if I'm going to go live for qualifying. Don't forget, after the race, I will have the finale lap where we come on live, talk about the race, have a good time, joke, all that good stuff. And Bryson will be back on the channel for another podcast after Saudi, and we will be hacking up things about that. So subscribe, like, join, comment, do all that good stuff. Welcome to the Wolfpack fam if it's your first time, and if it's not, and you just hate and then you in the comments, I appreciate you too. Peace. Thanks for tuning in and watching another video here at Wolfpack Performance. Check out some of my other content on Formula One issues, our topics, and our DIY products on how to customize your vehicle. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. See you soon.